Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Eastrose Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I want to especially welcome those who are with us for the first time, those who have joined us in the chapel, and our friends online. My name is Patricia Walsh, and I am the worship leader for today. Our speaker today is our own Reverend Robin. Reverend Robin is going to talk on the topic, Sliding Doors and Lives We Didn't Live. We'll ask, how can we reckon with and make peace with the lives we have not led and how we are living now without going into that murky what-if crystal ball thing? Reverend Robin is coming up on 2 years as our parish minister, and she has served a number of congregations before coming to Eastrose. Eastrose Fellowship sits on the site of the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook peoples, who were forcibly displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifice endured by the ancestors of this land, and that our presence here today is only possible because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook Nation and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on the tradition, history, and legacy held by their ancestors from time immemorial till this day. We seek meaningful relationships with these communities that foster respect. Now, let's take a moment to turn and greet each other. First, we're going to turn and face the cameras in the back and greet our friends online. Everybody wave. There'll be more time for conversation over coffee and tea after the service. And today, we are doing spirited conversations today, yes?
Yes, we do.
And there will be also spirited conversation after the service, right there in front of where I'm standing. For our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or a sorrow during that portion of the service, you can do so by entering it in the YouTube chat. They will be shared at that time. I also encourage you to identify yourself in the chat so we may better acknowledge your presence with us today. So this is a good time now for everybody to check that their various electronic devices, things that go beep, will not interrupt you during the service. And now, please join us in this responsive call to worship. It is number 645, Song of the Open Road. It's in the gray hymnal. Words will be on the screen. I will read the gold words, and your response is in white. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road, healthy, free, the world before me.
Henceforth I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Strong and content, I travel the open road.
I inhale great draughts of space. The east and the west are mine, and the north and the south are mine.
All seems beautiful to me. I can repeat over to men and women, you have done such good to me. I would do the same to you.
Whoever you are, come, travel with me. However sweet these laid-up stones, however convenient this dwelling, we cannot remain here.
However sheltered this port, and however calm these waters, we must not anchor here.
Together, the inducements shall be greater. We will sail pathless and wild seas.
We will go where winds blow, waves dash, and the Yankee clipper speeds by under full sail.
Forward after the great companions, and to belongness to them. They too are on the road.
Onward to that which is endless as well as beginningless, to undergo much, tramps of days, rests of nights.
To see nothing anywhere but what you may reach and pass it. To look up or down, no road, but it stretches and waits for you.
To know the universe itself as a road, as many roads, as roads for traveling souls.
Thank you, Barbara. In the words of Reverend Leslie Takahashi, all that we have ever loved, all that we have ever been stands with us at the brink of all that we aspire to create, a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a greater joy in this life we share.
Thank you, Patty. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So nice to see you all after a break. Our opening words today is a poem by Jane Hirschfield called Blessing. She says, "Today, when persimmons ripen, today, when windows keep their promise to open, today, when fire keeps its promise to warm, today, when someone you love has died, today, when someone you love has been born, today, when rain leaps to the waiting of roots in their dryness, today, when starlight bends to the roofs of the hungry and tired, today, when someone sits long inside his last sorrow, today, when someone steps into the heat of their first embrace, today, let this light bless you. With these friends, let it bless you. With snow scent and lavender, bless you. Let the vow of this day keep itself wildly and wholly spoken and silent, surprise you inside your ears, sleeping and waking unfold inside your eyes. Let its fierceness and its tenderness hold you. Let its vastness be undisguised in all your days." Our opening hymn is number 331 in the gray hymnal, "Life is the Greatest Gift of All." The words will also be on the screen. Please rise as you are willing and able.
Person and the young people to join us up front.
Good morning. Have you ever wished you could be someone else? Maybe a grown-up with all the answers, a famous person everyone admires, or someone with the most exciting job in the world. Have you ever wondered what you want to be when you grow up? What if I told you that the most important thing you can ever be is you? That's what today's story is all about. It's called Be You, written and illustrated by Peter H. Reynolds. It's a celebration of individuality and of staying true to yourself. In a world that often tells us what we should do, have, or become, perhaps the most important thing we can do is listen to our own inner knowing, the voice inside that knows who we really are. This is Be You. You were born to be so many things. My wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Be ready to take that next step toward being an amazing human being. Be curious, turn every stone, ask every why, and keep digging deeply. Discover your own answers. Be adventurous, live a big life. When you are ready, step outside your comfort zone. Bravely explore new paths and see where they lead you. Be connected, find kindred spirits. Be with those who make you feel like the real you. Be persistent, keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Be different, be silly, be quirky, be odd, be unique, be weird, be colorful, be okay with being different, be just the way you are. Be kind, be understanding, help those around you to be themselves. Listen, then listen some more, learn more about who they are. Be brave, try new things, take a deep breath and plunge forward into new experiences. It gets easier every time you try. Be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be heading in the direction of you. Be okay being alone. Take time to be on your own. Hear your own thoughts, your inner voice. Listen to your heart. Be patient. Being more you takes time. Take a deep breath, relax, let your future unfold at its own pace. It will be worth the wait. Be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, an encouraging word, reach out. As you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. You are ready, so go ahead, be you. Be very, very you. May we all have the courage to be exactly who we are. And now let's say goodbye to Reverend Robin and the adults and venture on to RE. If the adults along the center aisle will form a bridge, we'll sing the children out.
So I invite you now into our quiet time. If you're new today, we do have some time for quiet reflection and meditation in the middle of the service. So I invite you to uncross your arms and put your feet on the floor, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and take one big inhale and exhale to start. Drop your shoulders. Soften your face, particularly around your eyes and your mouth, forehead, your jaw. Drop those shoulders. Move your head around. Imagine you have a little string on top of your head, pulling your head up so that you're in alignment. And breathe. 4 beats in slowly through your nose, 5 or 6 beats out slowly through your mouth. In a steady rhythm, creating spaciousness from the crown of your head down to the soles of your feet. Be with your breath, breathe and allow, just breathe. While you breathe, I offer these words by the poet David White. Start close in. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third step. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way of starting the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To find another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear listening to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's path. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing close in, the step you don't want to take. Slowly come out of your breathing. A few more rounds, then a big exhale and release. Our quiet song today is Meditation on Breathing. It's number 1090 in the small teal hymnal. The words will also be on the screen, and we will sing it 3 times, and we will remain seated.
What Are the Odds? By Michael Mark. What are the odds that this trip isn't the stupidest thing I've ever done? That they won't drive 1 mile before she asks, "Where are we going?" 3 times. That she'll ask why she can't drive anymore. That she'll say her teeth hurt, she doesn't want to go, and where's her mama? That she'll ask if she's dying. That she'll ask if he's dying. That she'll say he's not driving to the casino, he's putting her in a home. That the handicap spot will be open in front of the lobby. That the manager will accept his expired voucher for 2 nights free and throw in 2 coupons for a free buffet. That he'll hit a blackjack. That she'll agree to stay at her slot machine until he comes back for her. But she'll get up, she'll get lost, she'll hoot and holler until security comes. That she'll remember their room number. That she'll look at her arm where he wrote the room number. That he'll be able to play the required 3 hours a day to earn the free room. that he'll be able to concentrate and not make dumb bets like the last time. That she'll leave her purse in the ladies' room, the car, the buffet, the coffee shop, that they'll find her purse each time. Then it will contain her wallet, which will be empty except for $10 and her driver's license. That she'll remember to stay in the room when she wakes up from her nap. That he'll remember to tape "We are in Atlantic City" to the back of the door. That she'll remember not to double lock the door because then he'll have to get security to open it. That they'll split a muffin and a cup of coffee in the morning. That they'll find a sunny bench on the boardwalk. That he won't yell at her when she tries to take home the hotel ice bucket. That this will be their last time in Atlantic City. That they will come home winners.
On the recommendation of the New York Times Watching column, I recently began viewing a BBC TV series out of Canada called Being Erica. In this dramedy, a 30-something Toronto native named Erica Strange has hit the wall. Her career in publishing has not taken off, her love life has stalled, and she still lives in this shoebox of a walk-up flat. So she's wondering what she did wrong and whether it's too late to fix the wayward pieces of her life. One day, while ordering a latte, she is handed a business card of a therapist named Dr. Tom. Now, he isn't your average therapist, mind you. When Erica opens elevators or her bathroom door, she magically enters his sort of Alice in Wonderland office through some time and space warp. And exactly what does he offer her? Well, an opportunity to list her regrets and then decide whether to travel back in time to make other decisions and change the outcome. Wow, that would be something, right? Erica returns to some predictable moments, whether to fight for a romance with her best friend Ethan, a chance to be more loyal to her college roommate, another stab at telling her sister what a jerk her fiancé really is, and touchingly, moments with her deceased brother Leo, who dies in a fire as a teenager. Our heroine doesn't actually change the outcomes in every instance. She discovers she cannot play God or rewrite every failed script. The theme that emerges in this show is that we all have regrets. They aren't always negative, and we can most definitely learn from those moments with a more seasoned, honest, and humbled hindsight. And this gives Erica an acute sense of being Erica, rather than that curated version of her past or some fixed narrative about her future. I'm pretty stoked that there are 3 more seasons to this series. See what happens to Erica. But I really like this sweet, smart spitfire of a character and what she represents. First, she symbolizes an all too common tendency to write our regrets into a new narrative with a happier, possibly even mythic ending, when in reality, it could have been a far worse outcome. And the series illustrates that the more imagination we pour into these rewrites, the more acute the regret. If I had only married so-and-so. If I had only taken that job at fill in the blank. Why didn't I study computer science instead of poetry? Why do we torture ourselves with believing what might have been would have been better? Because we don't know. Yes, it is possible, no doubt. Who knows? All speculation. Yet the I could have made better choices narrative is true mostly when we are talking about profound regrets and we're having these musings from prison because we're asking, why did I kill my boss? Why did I bamboozle millions of dollars? Why did I traffic underage girls? Why did I let myself get addicted to narcotics? You get my drift. Otherwise, it's all projection and conjecture, isn't it? Yet we spend so much time in that in-between space of what was, what we're conjuring up, and what could have been. We root for Erica, at least I do, but not that she will experience endless happy endings, because that feels false and shallow and not the writer's intent. Rather, we root for her and empathize with her because of the deepening, the growing acceptance of herself and her choices, good or bad, and how Dr. Tom's time-traveling therapy is building resilience and confidence in her to make actual future choices, even if they might transform into regrets later on. Interestingly, Erica is Jewish. Side note, the name Strange was probably some unpronounceable Polish name in the old country like Strange-Farowitz that was rebranded at Ellis Island. Her former hippie father has become a midlife career-switching rabbi, but her mom likes designer handbags. There is tension in the Strange household and some molecules of deep guilt and regret that keep bubbling up. And in spite of this, being Erica doesn't glorify or even satirize this tribal trait. On the contrary, the show asks us to reckon with our regrets as a process of healing. How have we been wounded, even self-wounded, and wounded others in our moments of regret? Can we heal through self-responsibility, self-interrogation, self-forgiveness, sincere amends to others, and a new understanding that what might have been wasn't, and that we can endure, grow, and begin again from a new standpoint? I believe so. We can take time to muse about our lives, our choices, our behavior, our priorities. And this is not a curse. It can be a blessing depending on which doors we open and walk through. I wonder where your mind has wandered as I've talked about regrets. We all have them. Some are headliners of our inner dialogue and endless toxic chatterbox loop. Some pop up more gently, but they are also persistent little buggers. Where did you go when I started to talk about regrets? In a memorable TED Talk entitled "Don't Regret, Regret," the journalist Catherine Schulz launches her presentation with the story of getting a tattoo at age 29 on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Schulz, who calls herself the world's leading wrongologist, whatever that is, notes that tattoo getting is one of the universe's foremost regrets among 30-somethings who get inked in their late teens. If only she had known. Does Erica have a tattoo? I actually haven't noticed yet. Have to pay attention. But Schulz tells her tale. She says, I regretted it instantly. And by regretted it, I mean I stepped outside of the tattoo parlor and I had a massive emotional meltdown in broad daylight on the corner of East Broadway and Canal Street, which is a great place to do it because nobody cares. Nobody even looks up. And then I went home that night and I had an even bigger emotional meltdown. And this was all actually quite shocking to me, Schulz continues, because prior to this moment, I had prided myself on having absolutely no regrets. I had made a lot of mistakes and dumb decisions, of course. I do that hourly. But I had always felt, she says, like, look, you know, I made the best choice I could have made, given who I was then, given the information I had. I learned a lesson from it. It somehow got to me where I am in my life right now, and okay, I wouldn't change it. She says, in other words, I had drunk our great cultural Kool-Aid about regret, which is that lamenting things that occurred in the past is an absolute waste of time, that we should always look forward and not backward, and that one of the noblest and best things we can do is to strive to live a life free of regrets. Is that the best thing we can strive to do? Now, there's bona fide science at work here, too. Because the ability to experience regret is actually one of the diagnostic characteristics of the inability to experience regret is one of the diagnostic characteristics of sociopaths. It's also, by the way, a characteristic of some kinds of brain injuries. So people who have damages to their orbital frontal cortex seem to be unable to feel regret in the face of even very obvious poor decisions. Schulz brings it home saying, so if in fact you want to live a life free of regret, there is an option open to you. It's called a lobotomy. But if you want to be fully functional and fully human and fully humane, you need to learn to live with, not without, regret. You need to learn to live with regret. The scientist Eric Barker underscores Schulz's point in his article called How to Overcome Regret, According to Science. He lays out 6 biggest shared areas of regret. And spoiler alert, money is not numero uno. The 6 biggest regrets, Barker tells us, fell into the following domains in descending order. Education, back to why didn't I study computer science instead of poetry? Career, why didn't I take that job instead of this job? Romance, am I with the right person? Parenting, we could be here for days. Self-improvement, and leisure. I'm not sure how leisure fits in here, but I imagine it might have something to do with our hobbies. Now, if you're curious, the next 6 are finance, family, health, friends, spirituality, and community. He expresses some surprise that education was the #1 regret, but muses that opportunity breeds regret. Feelings of dissatisfaction and disappointment are strongest where the chances of corrective reaction were clearest. So what can we learn here? Why might this be helpful for us? What do these things have in common that causes that gnawing feeling? The research shows we consistently regret missed opportunity. Education, career, relationships, our errors in these domains loom large because of all the possibilities that might have changed the course of our lives. And bingo, that's exactly where the BBC series transports Erica to these very key moments in her formative life. Yes, she regrets some of the things that she did, but much more frequently, and like us, according to the research, she holds more regret for the things she didn't do. Why are these missed opportunities so much more painful than the failed attempts that just didn't work out? Barker tells us you have a psychological immune system. Your brain doesn't want you overwhelmed with regret 24/7, so it conspires to help you. What does it do? It rationalizes. We humans are rationalizing machines. So when you do something stupid, he says, you feel bad, but part of your brain immediately starts digging for a silver lining. I should have left that terrible job sooner, but staying there, I really learned a lot about myself. That marriage didn't work out, but otherwise I have these wonderful, beautiful kids. Let's not forget the butterfly effect. Choices and outcomes don't exist in isolation. We all engage in some fantasy musings, and it helps us to get by. But what happens when we don't do something foolish? What happens when we don't do anything at all? And here's the punchline and the pebble in your shoe from this sermon. It's hard to learn from experience when there is no experience. It's harder, if not impossible, to generate silver linings for things you never did. It's hard to learn from experience when there's no experience. If we ask ourselves why we let certain opportunities pass us by, we might discover that we were brash or naive or afraid, and then it can be our time for making a turn. The cold shower of radical truth-telling about ourselves, followed by the warmer bath of self-love and radical acceptance of what was and what is and what might be in the real world. Erica also discovers through the magic of 42 commercial-free minutes that she has more control over her thoughts and attitudes than she realized, even if she has remarkably little control over rescripting how each moment of her life unfolded. I appreciate how Schulz describes this in her TED Talk when she lifts up Control-Z culture, as in the Control-Z tab on the computer. You know what that's for. Undo. She laments the problem is that there are certain things that happen in life that we desperately want to change, and we cannot. Sometimes, instead of Control-Z, we actually have zero control. My colleague, the Reverend Alicia Foote, reminds us the future is always unknown. The present moment is one in which things are forever falling apart, always shattering, always seeking new ways to be reimagined, reconstructed, reoriented. We live in the betwixt and between. That is reality. Life is eternally in process. Life has been in process since we started this service at 10:30. We, individuals and communities of faith, can be assured of at least one thing. There is so much we do not know. Our not knowing is a gift that allows us to stay open to possibility and the emerging world. We need not fear this liminal space, but rather embrace it as a source of wisdom from which we can create community and respond to the question, what would love do here? For those among us who like control or may be perfectionists, this letting go into this gift of not knowing is really hard because we want to do things right and we want to do them without regrets. So how do we not regret? As I've said, we can move through a labyrinth of self-inquiry into the center and back out again. There will be time travel involved, even without magical Dr. Tom. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this regret to apply to future behavior or decisions? Then consider, how could it have been worse? Not just, how could it have been mythically better? This transforms disappointment into gratitude. And here's the hard part and our charge. Even when there has been heartbreak or betrayal, may we not regret being willing to love. Even if our cause was not advanced or our love reciprocated, may we not regret taking a stand. Even if the world seems doomed to division or decay, may we not regret carrying a banner of hope. And even if our professional ventures fall flat, may we not regret taking a risk and following a dream. And how can you diminish the number of future regrets in your life? Say yes to opportunity. And this includes saying a big yes to building on our successes here at Eastrose. Let's spend less time on our fears and our mythical do-overs and more time considering what stories we wish to craft in the here and now. Watch Being Erica for inspiration. It's available on Amazon Prime and Hulu. May we each contract an acute case of the present tense. Carpe momentum, seize the moment, or as Nike urges us, just do it. And if we don't, and trust your minister, Erica Strange, and the science on this one, we may live to regret it. Blessed be, blessed we, and amen. Our closing hymn is number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. The words will be on the screen, and it's number 6 in your gray hymnal. Please rise as you are able.
One purpose of church is to encourage us to gather here to grow more generous in spirit and in action. This is the great end of many of the world's faith traditions, to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion. We will now take an offering that allows us to sacrifice to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit. Each week at Eastrose, we take an offering in support of this church and to share with the community nonprofit. This week, we share half our offering with NAYA, the Native American Youth and Family Center, which serves self-identified Native Americans, infant to elder, from across the Portland metropolitan area. The aim is to enhance the diverse strengths of our youth and families in partnership with the community through cultural identity and education. They believe that traditional cultural values are integral to regaining sovereignty and building self-esteem. NAYA values respect for the environment, places the larger community before the individual, and involves elders. They promote healthy living through positive alternatives to high-risk behaviors and promote the values of sobriety, family stability, culture, active lifestyles, and education. If you are attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking on the donate button. Or you can scan the QR code that you currently see on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass you by so that you may truly be our guests. The gifts of this congregation will now be gratefully received. And can I ask Richard and Karen to help make that happen? Please remain seated as we sing our gratitude song, number 1020, We Give Thanks, in the teal hymnal, and words will be on the screen. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. These are the words of Eric Hepburn. It's time for announcements. First, I want to remind everybody to look in the pedals. It comes on Thursday evening, and there's a bunch of announcements there. We have one that missed. The Eastrose hikers are walking this week. We will meet at Eastrose at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. I take that back. We leave here at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. So to head out to Beacon Rock, where we will do the 2 mile out and back, up and down is more accurate. We will do the 2 mile up and down on Beacon Rock. Don't worry, it's got rest places, it's got like a thing so you don't fall off, it's cool. And then we're heading into Cascade Locks for lunch. Katie Larsell, who is not here, so I can't have her wave her hand. Katie Larsell is the contact person for this event. Thank you. And now, Katie Norris has an announcement.
There's so much happening with the preschool coming in, it's probably confusing. And I'm gonna try to do a better job at communicating about it, but it's just a moving target. So we don't know yet when they're starting. Partly it's to do with the different inspections getting delayed, and it's really hard to get on the list for these inspections. And then if they cancel them, you've got to wait another week or two. So right now, it could be anywhere between mid-July to August 1st. And we've got some things to learn how to do in the meantime, like where do things go, because we need to keep the Thatcher room really clean. And we need to make sure that when they arrive on Monday mornings, that there's not a bunch of work for them to do to get set up. So we're trying to figure that out. So I will help communicate to our different groups who are doing things like coffee, or to Cheryl, who's to find out when she's leaving on Sundays. You know, I'll help do some things to help organize us to make sure that we're following the best protocol for this experiment. It's more than an experiment, it's a commitment to work for us. So if you have questions, come to me, and I will also try to do a better job at sharing changes. So that's all.
Thanks, Katie. Katie has done so much with the preschool. Yay, you. One last announcement, just to reiterate, we are having spirited conversations after the service. After you've had some coffee and socialized, come on back. I'll have created a circle here in front of the pulpit. And now we're going to say our unison benediction. Go out into the world in peace.
Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.
Go out in joy and return in love. Thank you.